It's time for the main event. It's the Shoe Shot.
¿Qué onda, vatos locos? Drew, can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I think I'm having some feedback. ¿Qué onda, vatos locos? I do apologize. I am having some feedback issues already. It's your boy Dave from the 408. Hopefully somebody can take care of that. Hold on a second here, guys. Damn, Drew. It was me. It was me feedbacking, man. I apologize. Shout out to everybody who's just joining us in the room for a Wednesday edition. Oh, boy. Should I just stop the show and start from scratch and say, fuck this show, Drew? Drew's laughing his ass off. What the fuck is going on?
Hey, guys, want to see Dave have a nervous breakdown?
I'm about to have a nervous breakdown for real. All right. Tons of computer problems, man. That's what happens when you don't do your show regularly. I'm going to scrap the beginning of that show, Drew, later on. But anyways, thank you if you're just joining us now live or joining us later on in the replay. It's your boy Dave from the 408 coming to you all the way from my podcast studio in San Jose, Califas. Shout out to Chicano Prophet for bearing with us, man. Shout out to him and Al Chile crew. Drew Evo, we were supposed to be here on Monday night for a big announcement, but I'm going to postpone that announcement to next Monday. How the fuck are you feeling after that Philadelphia Eagles Super Bowl performance?
Everybody wants us to lose or hate it. And, it keeps guys like Colin from the Herd making money. So he has, be able to talk bad about the Eagles. And tell you the truth, he kind of talked bad about you guys because he said you guys didn't, because he said we didn't play any good offensive lines. So he kind of talked about you guys too and everything. Right. So but the thing about it is, man, it was a great game until it got blown by bad fucking calls and everything. Like a couple of no calls and our defensive coordinator fucking laid an egg because he fucking did what he does against elite quarterbacks, play pussy with. It's cause a pussy game. Well, you know what it is, man? I'm happy on the other end because the Eagles have the franchise quarterback of the future. Okay. And he is a top 3 quarterback.
Hey, I think the 49ers were the top 3 team in the NFL this year, man. And now we both have the distinction of knowing what it feels like to lose to Patrick Mahomes. By the way, my friend Rhonda wanted to reach out to us and send some conciliatory words to you and me. And she wants everyone to know that her team, the Chiefs, have now beat both of our teams. So, Rhonda, if you're listening in the replay, you can screw off, and so can Patrick Mahomes.
Hey, here's the thing. They got You know, they got a lucky ass call against the Bengals in that AFC title game.
Mm-hmm.
And they got a lucky ass break against the Eagles. Because, like, I can go on and on. I'm going on actually a sports podcast probably soon for Philly people and say some shit about it. Because, tell you the truth, and predict the offseason too. But the thing about it is, if I got to deal with fucking petty motherfuckers, I'm going to deal with them. Because, tell you the truth, if I lost credibility for certain people that's in the sports game and the YouTube and everything because of their bias actions. Because they hate the Eagles so much. They're going to say, all right, I'm tired of hearing Eagles fans bitching and everything. But the thing about it is, Dave, you're a Niners fan. But when I have a Niners fan, another Niners fan in their chat saying that, in their group saying that, accusing the Eagles players of trying to intentionally hurt Niners players, that's just some petty shit. And you should feel ashamed because you're a Niners fan too. And you should be ashamed that you got players like Deebo Samuel bitching, being salty, and Chris McCaffrey being salty as shit because the offensive line got exposed and the defense got exposed by this Philadelphia Eagles team.
Oh boy! All right. Too much NFL talk.
Yeah, baby.
Oh man. Well, NFL's over, man. It was a great. You know what? What about that Rihanna performance? What about that Rihanna performance?
I don't like watching pregnant women sing.
I didn't even know she was pregnant, to be honest, man.
She had a belly.
No, I saw the baby. I saw the baby bump. I
it.
thought it was maybe some baby weight, but I had just found out later on that I thought it was pretty good. I mean, how many hits does she have? But anyways, let's move on to boxing. Let's move on to some boxing because I want to give a big shout out, of course, to Dougie Fisher and Beto Duran, who I think they do a fantastic job commentating for the smaller promotional company Thompson Boxing. And Drew, people reached out because I love to watch that, and I always see great friends of the show like Boxing Vitals and other people we see in there. But I found out that Ken Thompson, one of the founders of Thompson Boxing and Thompson Construction Materials, passed away this week. So rest in peace to him and everything that he's done for Thompson Boxing. And I thought it was one of the best cards, Drew. They had this guy. It was one of the best cards I've seen on YouTube for free. And that's what I love about Thompson. It's that they're building up young fighters. But there was this guy named Cazares, right, from Mexico. They bring in this kid. I mean, shoot, he looks like Butterbean, Mexican Butterbean. And they're calling him in the chat. They're calling him Pinto Bean. And my homeboy Boxing Vitals made this funny ass graphic, man. His name's Arnulfo Cazares, and he says, "Yo soy tu papá, ven mi frijolito." Anyways, everyone in the chat, a few hundred people were calling him Pinto Bean just because he looks like Butterbean, but the guy could fight, man. And he fought this guy named Oscar Torres. Let me make sure I get that right. 9-0 Oscar Torres, 6'4" Chicano from Southern California, I think Rialto, who was a diehard Philadelphia Eagles fan, came in and with all his Eagles gear. He looks like a heavyweight, 6'4" Chicano guy, fighting a 5'10", out of shape, what appear to be a blown up cruiserweight. Here's a picture of this guy, Arnulfo Cazares. Everyone that was watching it on YouTube thinks Oscar Torres got a gift decision. And I think that might be why the Eagles were jinxed, man, because this short little fat guy served them up and came to fight. And to be honest, this guy, 2 wins and 3 losses, he could easily have a much better record. Some people say he looks fantastic as a cruiserweight. This young little chubby guy from Baja California, man, he could fight. So he definitely won the crowd over, Drew. And in the main event, George El Yuyu Acosta, this guy, I like watching him. He can box, man. He's 12-1, but he has only 1 knockout. But he actually did something pretty impressive. He got up off the floor in the first round versus Marlon Sims from Indianapolis, and came back to get his second KO. Now, a lot of people compared him in the chat to Paulie Malignaggi's career trajectory with only 1 knockout and 13 losses. But hey, to get off the ground, rally back, and stop his opponent, Marlon Sims actually had a fairly good record, man. That was a really good card, Drew. Overall, there was that 1 gift decision. A lot of the fighters on Thompson Boxing were tested this past Friday night, and I always enjoy watching that, chatting with everybody, and I encourage you to, check it out. Watch it for yourself, man. Dougie Fisher, Ring Magazine, and Beto Duran, they do a great job commentating, Drew. So, anything you want to add to that, Drew? You think it's possible that this guy getting a gift decision, wearing all of Eagles gears, may have jinxed the Eagles?
No, but I think Thompson Boxing needs to shout me out.
They do. Hey, shout out to my boy SRT Live. Normally there's a lot more people in here, but usually we do Monday nights, but it is what it is. I was not able to do the show this Monday night. And SRT Live, you're probably going to like my announcement next Monday. It's a very, very special announcement that's going to really change the trajectory of my YouTube channel, of the Shoe Shine podcast that Drew Evo and I do. Of course, Drew comes broadcast all the way from Philadelphia, and I broadcast from the West Coast, but the news I'm going to share is going to be changing. It's going to change a lot of things. I wanted to share it Monday night, Drew, but I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait till we can get more people, because next Monday night, people are going to want to talk about this fight coming up that we're going to preview, Drew, because Lara versus Wood is going to be fight of the year contender, and you need to watch it this Saturday afternoon by any means necessary. Drew, you want to say something?
I gotta wait because this changes me. This is supposed to change me too for some reason. Like guys, 7 people. Who the fuck is it?
Hey,
doesn't you think it's bullshit?
Everybody's gonna be. If you watch my show, if you subscribe to my channel, everybody that watches it, that supports the Shoe Shine, supports Drew, will be affected by what I have to announce next Monday. So don't miss out next Monday's show. Now, Drew, this weekend, man, it was kind of a boring main event over at PBC. I was expecting to see a lot more fireworks from this Rey Vargas, the WBC featherweight champion, moving up to 130 for the vacated belt. Who vacated that belt, man? I can't even remember. It wasn't Shakur Stevenson, because that's the belt Navarrete just won the week before. Navarrete, moving up from 126, relinquished his title, actually gave up his WBO belt and said, I'm done with it. I'm not going to move back. Y'all can leave it vacated. But Rey Vargas did not say that. So he moves up to 130 to fight Oshaki Foster, who's a training camp buddies with 140-pound champion Regis Prograis. He was in the house. And man, Drew, it left me with the same experience I saw when I saw Oscar Valdez versus Shakur Stevenson in Las Vegas, just like less than a year and a half ago, man. This fight was kind of boring, dude. It was straight up boxing, 2 guys boxing, and I got to tell you, I was impressed by Oshaki Foster outboxing Rey Vargas, man, and nullifying him from becoming something. Again, we just had Navarrete win his 3rd title as a Mexican fighter, 3rd weight division title. It's a distinction very few Mexican fighters have. And Rey Vargas was denied that. And he rightfully so, man. Oshaki Foster deserved this title win. And I want to go and get your take, Drew. Did you see the highlights? Did you see this fight? Because it was hard. It was kind of hard to score, but you knew Rey Vargas wasn't landing them punches.
It wasn't hard to score. It was easy fight to score. He won 2 rounds. That's all he won. Was 2 rounds. That's being generous. That's being fucking generous, man. It's 2 rounds. If anybody scored this fight more than fucking 3 rounds, you're a fucking idiot. I'm sorry, but you are. Like, he didn't do shit this fucking fight. He got outboxed for the whole fucking fight. I'm sorry. It looked like he fucking body came, but his fucking spirit stayed in fucking Mexico.
Oh, shit. Now, he looked good for the weight, though. He's a tall, lanky, he's a very funny-looking fighter. People sometimes describe him as looking like the Mexican sidekick of Nacho Libre from the Nacho Libre movie. Jack Black's wrestling buddy, the Mexican. He's got a long, lanky build. He's got plenty of room to grow into the 130-pound weight division. But he just couldn't catch Oshaki Foster. Just like I said, great Mexican fighter Oscar Valdez could not touch Shakur Stevenson when they fought for that 130-pound title.
Like, this is just another name that, another Mexican name that the PBC would try to build up, and it failed because he lost. And now he's probably gonna be thrown to the race side.
You think so?
Because that's what PBC does to Mexican fighters, if you ask me. If they lose a fight, they throw them to the side or throw them to get to the up and coming prospects.
Yeah.
So, we can get you to fight him. You can beat him. Get a Mexican on your resume. That's what PBC tries to do, and that's what it does. Like, come on, that's what they try to do most of the time. That's what they do with Tank and everything.
Well, is that what they're doing with David Benavidez? By the way, the David Benavidez fight with Caleb Plant is almost sold out in March. I believe March 28th at the MGM Grand. I'm excited as shit to be there, but people are saying, hey. If you didn't hear it, they're saying David Benavidez ain't Mexican. They're coming after him saying he's not Mexican.
He ain't fucking Mexican. Don't call him the Mexican monster. He ain't no fucking Mexican monster. He's fucking more Ecuadorian than he is fucking Mexican.
There you go. Drew's
like,
in that camp.
That's
like saying, wait a minute. That's like people saying Obama wasn't black because he's only half black.
And it's like they call me the Mexican monster, and I'm not even fucking Mexican.
But he's half Mexican. He's half Mexican. I would love to take this as we get closer to that fight. We should take on this debate lightfully. Oh, by the way, I wanted to mention, guys, I'm so sorry, man. When I was having that feedback, I turned off the phone line accidentally, and I can't reboot it unless I just scrap this live stream. So I'm not taking any calls, but shout out to JC Chicano. I would love to take phone calls, but please, man, comment away. Drew just said that David Benavidez is not Mexican.
Like, here's the thing. You can't call yourself the Mexican monster if you're only half Mexican. I'm sorry, you can't.
So you can
call yourself
Mexican monster.
You can call yourself the Latin monster, or the Latino monster, or the Hispanic monster, or the fucking Arizona monster, the Seattle Washington monster.
Seattle. Okay.
You want to fucking call yourself, but you can't call yourself that because you're not all Mexican. Like, it's like me calling Dave the Ecuadorian monster.
Oh, I'm not any Ecuadorian.
He's not even 1% Ecuadorian. He's all Mexican.
How did we get into this? He's more
Mexican than fucking David Benavidez. But here's the thing.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. That's a nice ass undercard on that card.
It is. It's shaping up to be a good. Undercard. You mentioned that PBC has a habit of throwing their Mexican fighters to the wayside, but I think this the co-main event, or one of the co-main events, as we talked about, Jesus Ramos Jr. versus that other really good.
Joey Spencer.
Joey Spencer's a very good prospect / contender. They're going to try to figure out what contenders, and I appreciate that. I appreciate those type of fights. We'll cover those fights, Drew, but as it stands, going back to Rey Vargas, Chicano Prophet says, he's always been so-so. He may be so-so, but this is the current landscape at featherweight, and it's one of my favorite divisions, Drew. He retains his featherweight title. He is the WBC featherweight champion. He beat Mark Magsayo, and he intends to go back down. From everything we're reading, is that he's going to go back down to 126 and be the WBC featherweight champion. So what that means for today, because one of the biggest featherweight fights is coming on this freaking weekend, is the WBO belt is vacant, Drew. That's the belt that Navarrete just gave up. And that is going to be decided upon. It looks like Robeisy Ramirez, the Cuban two-time gold glove winner, two gold medalists, will be fighting for that vacant belt versus Isaac Dogbe in April. For the IBF, we just saw El Venado Lopez go and fight Josh Warrington in one of the nastiest, dirtiest fights I've seen in recent memory. And I think that fight robbed us, Drew, because honestly, I thought that fight was going to be more special. The kind of fights that Josh Warrington's been in, being knocked out by Lara, Bronco Lara, who we're going to see fight. I thought it was going to be better than that. He's now the IBF champion, and the WBA belt obviously is Leigh Wood. And I put this thumbnail. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm going to give my prediction, Drew. But with those three guys having the titles, we could potentially this Monday be talking about all these three titles, WBC, IBF, WBA, being held by Mexican fighters. The only one vacant, of course, would be the WBO strap. You guys could go ahead and put it in the comments what you think who's gonna win that fight. But Drew, what do you make of the featherweight division now? Because we're going to move on and transition into this stellar fight coming up Saturday, man. It's going to be a great fight. It could, in my opinion, be fight of the year contender. Yes.
First of all, Chicano, what was Benavidez's first nickname? El Bandano or something? I don't know. But I really think that the division can be anybody's taken. Yeah, you can have 3 Mexicans holding titles in the 3 out of the 4 alphabet titles and sanctioning body titles. Mm-hmm. I don't fucking want to call it, but But tell you the truth, are we gonna see a unification? Probably not.
That's what's pissing me off, Drew. You bring up a great point. Thing. Will we see WBC fighter Rey Vargas defend his title against the WBO champ over at Top Rank? No, probably not.
And the thing about it is, and this is something that I think has to be brought into consideration. It's time that these sanctioning bodies name these other sanctioning bodies champions as mandatories for a change. That's how you most likely can get better fights or unification. But, if you look at some sanctioning bodies, say this guy's a champion of the WBO, he might not be ranked in the WBC though for some fucking odd fucking reason. That's happened. Like AJ's not even ranked in the fucking WBC really, if you look at it. But I don't know, man. It's just fucking like ridiculous on why we don't get unification. And because like promotional networks blocking it, got certain management companies don't want the fight, or the fighter themselves don't want the fight, and everything. Make up excuse why they don't think they're gonna make money off it or build off a legacy. But I don't see no unification happening at 126.
Really?
And,
all right. Well, I want to give a shout out to Boxing Tonic, who says, "Hey guys, someone asked me to collab with you. Hey brother, hit us up at my Instagram at shoeshine_boxing. We always enjoy talking to boxing fans, whether it's a phone call or if you want to come on this panel, hit me up on the IG." Drew, I wanted to point out something. El Venado Lopez, who is now the champion at IBF, in what was a very tough win for him over Josh Warrington. Josh Warrington came out extremely aggressive. He pulled every dirty trick he could, man. But he's got a loss to the Bay Area's and Salinas, California, Ruben Villa, man. He's lost to Ruben Villa handily, was outboxed. Ruben Villa lost to Navarrete. And someone like Ruben Villa, who kind of has this incredible amateur pedigree, with his loss to Navarrete, finds himself at the back of the pack. He's like not even coming up in the rankings when he won 4 out of those 12 rounds, maybe 5 of those 12 rounds against Navarrete. He deserves a crack at these. But he's also homeboys with Bronco Lara. So that would be a very difficult unification if Lara becomes victorious this Saturday, becomes the new champion. That would be a very difficult fight to make between two friends. But business is business. That unification seems unlikely.
Josh Warrington, I said before when I watched that fight, man, Josh Warrington is not a good enough boxer to keep a pressure fighter off of him.
Well, Josh Warrington here suffered one of his most brutal KOs of his career, losses against Bronco Lara. Right there, we see this picture.
Yeah, it's the same thing. He could not keep Bronco Lara off him. He's not that good of a boxer to keep somebody off of him that long and everything. He doesn't really have that much power and everything. He's not a power puncher. He's a boxer technically, but he's not that good of a boxer to keep a pressure fighter off of him. And that's why maybe he lost. And the dirty tactics that he did, it actually made the fight look horrible.
It did make the fight look horrible. On his end.
But I don't know. I like Josh Warrington is like a fighter that really hit a ceiling in my opinion. I just can't see him doing much more than what he done already. The highlight of his career was winning that title, and that was it. Like, other than that, I see him just being a regular plain or European fighter, winning European championships.
Shout out to Sontero Media, who just joined us. Appreciate you for coming in the room, JC. Likewise as well. Mom Food, nice to see you as well. We're talking about the featherweight landscape. Drew doesn't think there'll be a unification, but there is one unification that is likely, Drew, and that's that fact that Top Rank usually keeps the WO in their pocket, and they're going to have Robeisy Ramirez against Isaac Dogbe in April. And they also co-promote Luis Alberto Lopez, who I just said just won the IBF strap. Drew, I've been hearing that they're looking to match up, and I don't know if you guys have heard this too, but El Venado Lopez versus Mick from Ireland, Mick Collin, who also has a brutal KO loss in Fight of the Year contender of 2022, man. It was one of the most brutal KOs. One of the most brutal KOs. And I just showed you Lara's KO over Warrington. And it's only fair for me to show you Fight of the Year contender in 2022, Leigh Wood's brutal KO of Michael Conlan near the very end of this fight, Drew. It was one of the best fights that I can remember of all 2022. Conlan getting the early KO against Wood. Wood and Lara have both been dropped early in their careers. How is that going to pan out, Drew? Because both of these guys can box, but everyone is favoring the power of Lara in this fight this Saturday.
I think Lara's going to knock him out. And I think it's going to be late. Like, I just don't see, like, the Wood knockout of Colin, that's just a brutal fight. And, like, somebody's bound to go down.
Oh, absolutely. If not both of them. If not each other, like, right? Colin and Wood.
I think Lara is more of a pressure fighter.
Mm-hmm.
That would keep the gas on the foot on the pedal the whole fight. I don't think Wood's going to be able to box his way out of it. He's going to have to sell himself out in order to keep him at bay. And when he sells himself out, that's when Lara's going to take it and knock him out. I just don't see it. I just don't see him winning. And it'll be the third time, be the second time that he's won on UK soil. And I tell you the truth, it would be the second time he wins by knockout on UK soil.
Yeah, so, it's important to point out that this fight will be taking place on DAZN, the DAZN network, or however you guys watch your boxing if you stream it. But it's going to be in the middle of the day, Saturday, in Nottingham, right? I believe, and that's the backyard of Leigh Wood. But that's nothing to Lara, who's gone over there, like you just pointed out, and been extremely successful in the UK.
But the Leeds, England, to knock out Josh Warrington in his hometown.
In his backyard. Also to point out is the age difference, Drew. Right now, Leigh Wood is coming in at 34, which is pretty old for a featherweight.
Oh,
34. But they hold this very similar records, Drew. Of course, I mentioned that they've both been knocked out early on in their career. This is a fight that potentially both of these guys might taste the canvas, but everyone is favoring. Just a few days ago, it was a 3-1 underdog for Leigh Wood as far as the betting odds, Drew. Everyone seems to be favoring Lara with a late stoppage. I'm just going to go out and say it, man, but I'm also favoring Lara to win this title, as I pointed out on my thumbnail, by late stoppage. So let's hear it, Drew. The official pick from Drew Evo.
I got Bronco Lara knockout round 8.
Oh, man. Bronco Lara with an 8-round knockout stoppage. And like I said, man, this is really exciting. I want to know, guys, in the chat, this is going to be a really short show. It's Wednesday. I appreciate you guys for coming by. But let me know what you think is going to be the outcome of this fight. If you think Lara is also going to be victorious, or if you think there's anything that can stop this wrecking machine that Leigh Wood can do. Drew, Leigh Wood, I think, has the faster hands, and he's going to have to throw a lot to keep this Mexican pressure fighter off of him. But ultimately, I don't think it's going to be possible as he gets worn down. It ain't going to happen, right?
He's not only going to have to keep punching, he's going to have to keep moving. Football's going to take a toll in this fight. Like that was the issue with fucking Josh Warrington. His footwork was suspect against Warrington in my eyes. Like, not only he's not that good of a fighter, but if you saw in the Bronco Lara fight and you saw the fight, Lopez fight, his footwork wasn't that good. I didn't see no good footwork there. And this footwork's going to be a key in this fight.
Mm-hmm.
Whether Wood's going to survive this fight or not. Like, I don't think it is. I don't think he's going to be able to survive it. But, hey, I've been wrong before. And I've been right a lot. So, put it like that. I just don't think he's going to be able to keep Lara off of him. And it's going to be Lara winning this fight. And, Lara, it's up to him next whether the unify or move up, which I doubt he gets the unified, but it is what it is.
Yeah, hopefully. Well, he'll probably get to do a mandatory defense against. There's a ton of great fighters at featherweight. Like I just mentioned, Isaac Dogbe is going to get a title shot. This is Isaac Dogbe's only 2 losses come to Navarrete, the former 126-pound champ. And I think those two losses came at 122. Isaac Dogboe moved up to 126 after losing his titles. He's got wins over people like Adam Blue Nose Lopez that we've interviewed. There's a lot of great fights, whether they're making them in-house at Top Rank. I think what we're going to see, Drew, is a unification between Luis Alberto Lopez, who will probably be forced to defend his title against Mick Conlan. Mick Conlan's a hell of a fighter, man. He's got a great audience behind him in Ireland. But if Mick Conlan could pull off that upset, we could be seeing Mick Conlan, the Olympian, a gold medalist, versus Robeisy Ramirez. I predict Robeisy Ramirez to become victorious over Isaac Dogboe. As good as Isaac Dogboe is, he's got the heart of a champion. He's not beating that gold medalist from Cuba. He's just not, man. So I think we're going to see some unification later on this year at the featherweight division. It'll be in-house at Top Rank. Probably going to be, in my opinion, Elvenado Lopez coming up victorious in a late stoppage or a decision win against Mick Conlan. And we'll see Luis Alberto Lopez possibly versus Robeisy Ramirez. I think Top Rank is favoring Robeisy Ramirez to be like their top featherweight guy, and hoping that Navarrete and Oscar Valdez will duke it out at 130, keeping those titles in-house. And I can only tell you how good Shakur Stevenson is. You got to see it for yourself. But Shakur Stevenson will find his voice at 135 this year. What do you guys think, man? If you guys are still with us, let me know what you guys think about that featherweight division, how it's going to play out. Drop a comment, because I know this isn't our normal scheduled time. One more. I wanted to bring up some fights that are coming up this weekend, Drew. You're familiar, Drew, with the bare knuckle fighting, right?
Yeah.
All right, this is crazy, bro. Austin Trout, who once fought Canelo Alvarez, and many people have argued about this for ages. Austin Trout, I don't know what he's doing bare knuckle fighting, but I was a huge fan of the UFC Tough Series when they first started Tough Enough, or whatever that contest was, man. And Diego Sanchez, the nightmare from New Mexico or Arizona, wherever he's from. I was a big fan of this guy, man. But Austin Trout taking a real step down in his boxing career, in my opinion, to fight an MMA fighter, Diego Sanchez. I don't care what Diego has done in MMA. He doesn't have the skill set to compete with Austin Trout, dude. This guy's going to get knocked out. Poor Diego Sanchez, man. I think he's going to get knocked out by Austin Trout. Although I've seen funnier shit in bare knuckle, man. We see Paulie Malignaggi lose to an MMA fighter at the tail end of his career.
Why the fuck is Paulie Malignaggi fighting in bare knuckle, period? He doesn't have power.
Oh, that was a while back.
Hey. Oh, my God.
Well, it is what it is. Austin Trout, Chicano Prophet says, Trout's got a hot wife. Well, his career in boxing isn't so hot anymore. He's taking this bare knuckle mania, whatever, payday. I think he's going to come out victorious. But I might just shot this out next Monday to see how it goes for him, bare knuckle, because bare knuckle, shit, hey, man, it's totally different. Tyson Fury's family comes from a famous bare knuckle fighting family.
Get cut easily, too.
You get some serious injuries. By the way, have you been keeping up with this slap fighting shit, and how social media is now really trying to come out and say, enough with this, man? The television network should drop slap fighting.
I think a lot of fuck people put themselves through this shit. Like, oh, what do you do for a living? I get bitch slapped for a living. Oh, what else you do for a living? I bitch slap people for a living. Is there anything besides bitch slapping somebody you do for a living? I was like, I put a pole behind my back before I get bitch slapped. Please bitch slap me. Like, I don't understand. I just don't understand, man, this sport. I shouldn't call it a sport. It's a fucking circus.
It is, and that particular one I'm talking about is Dana White's venture, and he's got a television network backing it. But apparently, I don't spend much time on TikTok, but my wife does, and she's telling me, have you seen the backlash coming at this sport? Everybody knows there's concussions involved. If you're just standing still, you're gonna get concussed. So hopefully they'll end this nonsense, and maybe the sport of boxing can come back and get some more limelight, Drew. I did promise the show was going to be short, so I'm going to let you rant, Drew, because probably time for a Drew rant anyways.
You know what? I got an idea for Derek.
Derek who?
Derek Ware. Derek Ware. I got a good
Derek.
idea for Derek Ware. He should challenge that short guy to a slap contest.
Oh, you talking about Derek Ware, the NFL player, our homeboy Derek Ware, Urban AZ channel. Shout out to them. You're saying he should challenge the other guy who's was in our chat. Nice guy too, Jimenez. Video Productions on YouTube. You're saying they should challenge each other to a slap fight. So on one hand, you got a former NFL player and you got a vato from Riverside. That's I don't know how tall Jimenez is, Drew, but he might be like 5'6" or 5'7". So it's not exactly fair unless you sit down and slap the shit out of each other.
Who cares? It's a good idea, and he'll agree with me on it.
He'll agree with you on that? So Drew's setting it up. The first promotional slap fight by Drew Evo, huh? The shoe shine?
Yeah, that's...
Drew, I was saying I was going to be in Vegas possibly this weekend and the weekend after that. And is it true? I didn't hear the news, but you said the Boxing Voices amateur card may have been called off?
Yep, they had a show. They had the Boxing Voice on there. It said the Border Wars is canceled.
Man, I was so excited about that.
But...
No, I was going to be in Vegas on the 24th, and I was excited to see something and just be around like-minded people, YouTubers and whatnot. And now to find out that it's been postponed or canceled.
No, Dave is going to be around himself and a drink.
Yeah, I'll be around on the 24th in Vegas if you're there. And if you're here next Monday celebrating President's Day, whatever you're doing, make sure you tune into the Shoe Shine for its normal scheduled time, 7:30 Pacific Standard Time. Drew and Evo are going to find out who wins this fight. We're going to debate what happens in the featherweight division, bring you some more gossip, some more news in the boxing, because I think March is going to be, I think we're shaping up to have a really good spring, Drew. We've already had some great fights this year. The women are putting it down.
And Dave's making us wait till next Monday for this.
Oh, yeah. And I'm going to be drinking this one next week, guys. I'm busting out with this one next Monday for my special announcement. I will be drinking the Don Julio 70. So make sure you tap in and watch us. Appreciate everybody who's been tuning in. And shout out to Johnny who just joined us with the Eric Estrada. He says he loves Lara Bronco.
Punch!
Puncharello. Yeah, great pick, man. Great pick. So I'm Dave from the 408. Drew, any final words?
Oh, man. Who am I slapping this week?
Oh, man. We'll see you guys next Monday. Thank you, everybody. Make sure you hit subscribe and hit the notifications so you don't miss special shows like this one. We'll see you next Monday. Peace out, Drew. Peace.